Well, hello, everybody. I know tonight is usually highlighting women in business, but the young lady I had scheduled for tonight has pushed back to next week. But I did want to stop by to have a little girl chat for the night. Um, there is an organization out south, and they're planning a Mother's Day event. It will be a drive-through where every mother will be able to drive through and pick up a gift. And soon as I get all the information, I'm going to post the information on the social media outlets. But also for anybody who would like to donate for this event, when I get the information, I want us to step up to the plate and be a blessing to somebody else. You never know how it may help a mother, whether she's married, single, or whatever it may be. We're in the business of being supportive for one another. Another thing is, I was having conversations about, us, how can I say this? When we're in business, we should make a practice. It should be a very good practice that whoever your customers are, you treat them with the utmost respect, and you make sure that you're timely and providing your services, whether it's cooking for somebody, whether it's cleaning house, whether it's making something for somebody, whatever it may be. We need to get out of the habit of being late as Black people for anything. So you're talking about a business. So if you can't service your customers or your clients in a timely manner, you need to know that's a reflection on you as a business owner. And they say the first impression is a long lasting impression. And we need to think about some things when we decide to jump over into business. Don't do anything to someone else you would not want anyone to do to you as it relates to business. So let us learn how to be very supportive to one another as it relates to being in business. Another thing that I've learned as I've been, trying to work on branding my business, and it's an important factor that we need to know starting a business, is to cover your brand. It's very important to cover your brand. Right now, we're living in times where people wait for you to build up your brand, and you put all the hard work in it, whether it be t-shirts, whether it be you creating products, whatever it may be. You have money invested into your brand when you're starting a business. And the thing that's most important, which I've learned through the process that I'm going through right now, is I thought copywriting was most important when you talk about building a business and investing in your brand, but it's not. It's trademarking. Trademarking is very important when you talk about building your brand. There are a lot of individuals who put their hard work into building a brand, and somebody comes along and they steal that brand from them, and you end up with a letter which they call a cease and desist. That means the person has took your brand and they went through the proper protocols and channels, paid their money to trademark your brand, whatever it may be, and now they own that particular brand. And we come up with some fantastic ideas. We work hard, we spend our hard earned money to get our businesses up and running. And what you don't want to do is have somebody come in and just scoop your stuff up. Trademarking is very tedious. It is a difficult process, and listening to the stories, I'm always researching, I'm always listening to stories and see who does this and how does this work. And I know there's a lot of things on LegalZoom that makes you think that you can actually um, it will help you in your trademarking process, but you actually need an attorney. You really do. And you should seek out and search for the attorneys that you need before you take up the time to spend in trademarking, because there are different classes, which I've learned. Right now, I'm in the process of trademarking To a Woman's Heart, because whatever I put out, I want it to be covered, because I've worked hard for this brand that I'm building, and I don't want anybody to come in and scoop it. And so I'm going to be putting forth some different things on the website, some t-shirts. Um, a couple of them is up there, but they would be pre-order only until I see how the traffic and how the flow of everybody is with ordering the shirts. So they'll be pre-order. And then I've created a hair mask for natural hair, but you can use it on colored hair, perm hair, whatever it may be. I'll be posting that soon as well. I just want us to be our better, best selves in all that we do. I don't want us to allow anyone to box us in or make us feel like we're defeated in our efforts of trying to build things. And right now, with the way everything is going, since COVID has hit, a lot of individuals have lost their jobs. Some marriages have broken up, and so wives are on their own with their children. And we as women, we sit on a lot of information. We sit on ideas. We sit on visions of things that we want to do. And the thing that keeps us from moving forward and doing those things is fear. So, if there is something within you that you want to do, whether somebody's doing it or not, your vision is not anyone else's vision, it's yours. And so, if you feel that strongly that this is something that you should do, that God has pricked your spirit to do it, then go ahead and do that. Be encouraged, step forward. And release the fear and go ahead and do what you need to do, because right now we need to learn how to create multiple streams of income, so we can stabilize ourselves. So when hard times come, we don't have to be dependent on one income. We can have other streams of income, and we won't be in such panic mode when it comes down to taking care of things at home with our families. So, and a lot of reasons why we can't do what we need to do is mainly because of fear. And the second reason we can't step out and do what we need to do in building that business and writing that book or doing a cookbook, or, stepping out, you want to be an actress, or you want to be a model, or you want to sew, or whatever it may be that you have in your heart that you want to do, besides fear, is letting others put negative thoughts in your head and telling you, I would waste my time doing it because somebody else is doing it. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of companies out here selling gym shoes. But do you think they stop selling them? Because each gym shoe has its own brand. It has its own unique design. So whatever you decide to do, it is your own unique design and is your own unique brand. So don't let nobody pour water on your fire when you feel so heavy about doing something. We have to learn how to push past what other people say, because as I've said in other podcasts, misery loves company. And if I'm fearful and I don't want to step out on the ledge and I don't want to take the chance and I don't want to fulfill my dream or work on my vision, whatever it may be, then I want somebody to stay in the same spot that I'm in, because I'm miserable. I don't want to go past nothing. I don't want nothing better for myself. So we have to not let everybody pour salt, pour water on our fire, when it's something that God has placed deep down within you to do. That is yours. And can't nobody do what is inside of you. They can't. You can tell somebody about your vision. You can tell somebody about, what you desire to do, but they can't manifest it and they can't get it to be where they want it, because it's not theirs. It's yours. So don't let anyone deter you from stepping forward and being the best person you can be for you. This is, and I'm not saying that, sometimes people say, oh, you're being selfish. But sometimes you have to be a little selfish. That's the bottom line. You have to be a little selfish because we'll tell people certain things about our heart's desires, what we would like to do. And those individuals are quick to provide so much negative input. Well, why would you want to do that? Do you know how long it's going to take you to do that? Do you have the money to do that? Is anybody going to buy your products? Do you think it's a good idea? Well, if God give you something, then yes, it's a good idea. If he tells you to do something, he's going to provide the way for you to do it. And what we have to understand when we're stepping out on the ledge of faith, then we have to trust that it's going to do, nothing comes overnight. So we're going to have to put some work into whatever it is that we desire to do. But don't be discouraged in your efforts, because they may not pay off today, they may not pay off tomorrow, they may not pay off next week or next month, but you have to believe deep down in your soul that they are going to pay off. Just think about all those individuals who started businesses, your Amazons, your Microsoft, if they would have given up, because I'm sure, and a lot of them would tell you they filed bankruptcy a couple of times. People didn't have faith in them whatsoever. And they kept pushing, and they got a little discouraged themselves because they had all that negativity coming inside their ear and telling them what they can't do and it's not going to be successful. And after a certain amount of time, you should just give it up and let it go. But that's not what you should not do that. You should push forward, because again, no success happens overnight. You hear the actresses talking about how they had humble beginnings, but they kept being persistent in their efforts. And then after a while, those efforts paid off. So if you work for it, you appreciate it. It has more value. You don't want nobody just to give you anything. You want to work for it. It's yours. It's your vision. So step outside of the box and do what you need to do for you and your family. Yes, it may be rough, but there are a lot of free tools out here that you can use. So use what's at your disposal to the best of your ability, and never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to do a little research. Never be afraid to collaborate with somebody, because that can help you to get to your next destination. Make sure you have your MOUs. Those are memorandum of understanding. Make sure you have your linkage agreements. Make sure you have all your paperwork intact when you're collaborating with other brands or other organizations. This is all about how we build and how we become our better best selves. We need to share information. And the one thing that we don't want to do in life is share information. We get things that may be beneficial to somebody else and we hoard it to ourselves. And that's not how it should be. Or we have somebody that we know and we see they're climbing the ladder of success. And so we don't want them to get past us. So we take our hands and we pull their ankles down with words that we use, destroying their characters or making them feel bad. But why you doing this and you shouldn't do that? And that don't make no sense. And you don't have the money for it. And if you can't be a motivator, and if you can't be an encourager to somebody else, then don't say anything, because what they're looking for will be the same thing you would be looking for if you started a business. So we have to think about these things. I don't think we think about these things. And then there are things that you do naturally that could be a great source of a stream of income. But because we're so fearful and we don't think nobody would buy. We don't think nobody would pay attention. We don't think nobody would be there for us. We don't think nobody would support us. And that's not true. That's not true. And sometimes the people that you expect to be in your corner, they may not be in your corner. But you still have to press forward and do what you were told to do. Don't sit on your dreams. Don't sit on your visions. Step out on faith. Faith will get you where you need to be. Just believe it. Just believe it. And even though it's something that you can't see, you have to trust that God will do just what he said he's going to do. He didn't say when he was going to do it, but you have to trust that he's going to do just what he said he's going to do. Now, when I think about faith, the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, my analogy of that is when you're in a car and you're driving and you come to this steep curve, right? Do you stop your car before you hit the curve, get out and walk around to make sure the road is there? Or do you trust that when you turn that curve that the street will still be there? That's the kind of faith you need to have when you talk about venturing out, starting a business, writing a book, being an actress, whatever it may be. That's the type of faith you need to have. You are not in this alone. There are others who started this path. There are others who were told you would never make it. You would never be nothing. This is nothing ever going to come of your dream or your vision. And they kept being persistent and they discarded the negativity and they kept pressing forward. They did not let fear overtake them. And I'm sure a lot of these individuals are very successful today. Very successful. That you see actresses giving their testimonies of how they had rough beginnings. I heard Anita Baker say one time that somebody told her that she didn't have a great voice. Nobody would listen to her. Nobody would buy her music. And that was not true. But people will put water on your fire, pour salt in your wound to keep you where they are at, because they don't want to see you successful. They don't want to see you make it. So you cannot listen to what others say. You can't. You can't let fear hold you back. You have to step. You have to step forward. You have to trust, pray, and keep pushing and keep moving. And again, it may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen next week. But believe me, it'll happen. You just stay the course. See, the view through the front mirror is so much wider versus the one in the rearview mirror. And if you notice, when you look through the rearview mirror as you're driving, everything seems to get smaller, 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 and smaller, and it disappears. And so as you travel the road of building your brand, building your business, those haters will seem smaller and smaller and smaller. And you stop focusing on what's behind you and look at everything that's before you, because that view is so wide. It's so beautiful. You see so many different things from that angle. So don't worry about it. And sometimes when you're doing things and you decide to make a change in your life, to be better, to do better, you have to release some baggage. That means friends, that means family, that means whatever dead weight that you need to let go that is not meant to go to the next journey with you. Because everybody is not meant to go to the next level with you. So you have to know that to be facts. Everybody's not meant to travel the same road that you're traveling. Because maybe, in a sense, as we conversate about this and we think about it, if you take the person who you told your ideal to and you was excited about telling them what you have in your heart to do, and they start being really negative about what you're saying that you should do, and then you drag them right along, and then you start to showing some progress, some things start to be manifesting itself, your business start growing, and they're still in your ear with the negativity, because now they're going to say you've been doing this for 2 months and this is all that you got now. So this is why, as we move forward, God allows us to close the doors on some relationships. He allows us to shut the elevator down so they can't get on and ride, because they're not meant to go where you're going. And we have to know that. Everybody can't travel the road that you're traveling, because everybody don't have your best interest at heart. So if we can understand that when we're growing, when we're building, when we're walking in we're doing our vision and living out our dream, you got to know that there are still going to be some haters. But let me tell you, they can hate on you while you're going all the way to the top, and they'll be still sitting at the bottom, squalling in the mud, in the quicksand, going nowhere. They popping up, trying to get a little air for life, and then they go right back down in there, because that's where they like to be. That's where they like to be. So don't feel bad because you can't take everybody with you. Scissors are for a reason. They're cut to release things. Umbilical cords are cut for babies to survive from the mother. They cut the umbilical cord. So sometimes you have to cut the umbilical cord from friendship. Sometimes you have to cut the umbilical cord from families so you can survive. And it is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And sometimes God forces you to let some things go because we don't know how to release them. So he helped us to release them for the betterment of ourselves, to get us where we need to go. Because if we don't know how to release them, then we're like a revolving door. We keep revolving the same stuff over and over and over and over again. And we get nowhere. We get nowhere. We just don't. So stand firm, ladies. Whatever it is that's within you, stand firm. Don't be fearful. Don't listen to the naysayers. If God has put something in your heart to do, then that is the very thing that you need to do. You are strong enough. You are capable enough. You are qualified because God qualified you to do it. So don't doubt yourself. Don't question yourself. You can do this and you will be successful. It won't be overnight, but you'll get where you need to be. Do that make sense? I hope it does, because, as we go through things, as we go through life, the purpose is to learn and don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Growth means we evolve to a better us. We become better. We learn from the mistakes that we made. We don't want to wallow in it. Whatever you do that knock you down, dust yourself off, stand back up, and keep pressing forward. That's what we need to do. Okay? So I hope that this little conversation has been very encouraging. I hope it has been enlightening. I hope it pricks your spirit. I hope it creates some thought process in your head that we can be, we're able to do other things. Women are great individuals. We can multitask. We can walk and chew gum. We can cook and wash dishes. We can do multiple things. So don't let nobody pour water on your fire. If you have something to do, then go ahead and do it. But know this, you can't tell everybody about your visions and your dreams, because they just won't be happy for you. Bottom line, we have to realize we know who's in our circle, we know who's in our corner, and we know who have our best interests at heart. So take those with you who will motivate you, who will encourage you, who will pour into you positive things, and who are not there to withdraw from you and don't give you anything in return. So again, I hope that this conversation has been helpful. I really do. I've learned some things myself, and as I learn and I grow, I want to share with you so you can learn and you can grow as well. We're working on becoming our better best selves. And becoming our better best self means we have to look in the mirror and we have to let some things go in order to move to the next level. And we have to know within our heart, everybody's not meant to go where we're going. They're just not. Sometimes you have to drop some things off and leave them there. That's what it is. All right. So don't forget, I will be posting a flyer for the Mother's Day event. It will be a drive-through drive that's going to be on the south side. And any donations that you can donate to go in the basket. Don't send no trash. Don't send nothing to nobody you would want nobody to give to you. Bottom line, we want to be a blessing to mothers. And at this time, moms deal with a lot. They was homeschooling. They was trying to hold a job. Some women's unemployed. They was just trying to make ends meet. So whatever we can do to be encouraging, to help, that's what we should be able to do. All right. So tomorrow is Wednesday Nuggets. I'll be posting what the topic for Wednesday Nuggets will be later on. And again, if there are any ladies out there who has a business and would like to be highlighted, please send me an email at number2 a woman's heart.com at gmail.com. Number2 a woman's heart at gmail.com. All right. So I hope this has been helpful tonight. I'll see y'all tomorrow and next week with my next young lady who I'm highlighting in business. All right, take care.